Alright, hey YouTube, this is DC Subarus again. This video is going to be on the list of parts that we're going to be doing for the, hopefully, 500 plus horsepower build for my 2004 Subaru WRX STI. We're going to have to do this build in two stages because money issues and getting it done in a certain amount of time and doing it properly as well. And the way I list these parts is probably the way you'd want to do it if you do the same build. The OEM clutch that's already inside the car would for sure not be able to handle the massive horsepower that this build will have, and neither will the transmission. And forged internals would be a definite suggestion unless you want a piston flying through your hood or snapping your connecting rods. Alright, so I'm going to be ordering a competition stage 3 copper ceramic clutch. This clutch is probably perfect for this build, perfect for the horsepower, and it's not that bad to drive on the road. I've been in cars that have stage 3 clutches, and yes, they're a bit of a bitch at first to press in, but you get used to it after a while. Yeah, and in traffic, your clutch foot might get a little bit tired, but you'll get used to it after a while. And the next thing is blast plates for the transmission. Now, this is something that I've just barely heard about, and we've put onto the build. But what people would usually do to beef up their transmission is to buy stronger gears, bigger gears for their transmission, because the soft drivetrain in the 5-speed, yes, STIs usually have a 6-speed transmission, but in my opinion, the 5-speed has a better gear ratio for acceleration. Maybe definitely not top end like the 6-speed STI, but that's what I prefer. The blast plates will strengthen your transmission and the gear meshing closer together. There'll be a lot less stress on the gears, and you'll be able to put a lot more power to your transmission without the risk of breaking it. They will require you to pull the transmission out to do. It's not something that you can just do with it mounted inside the car still, which, if you know things, you will also have to pull the motor to do such, and that honestly is not that hard. When someone hears that you have to pull out the transmission, they're like, oh, I'm just going to pay someone else to do it. No, it's not that bad. Yes, some motors that I have worked on are the biggest pains in the ass to pull out. Like a few months ago, I helped my friend do a Datsun motor swap. He put the turboed ZX motor in it, the inline 6, and that thing was the biggest pain in the ass. I honestly thought it had been easy with the engine bay size in it. That turned out to be a fall, and what we thought would take maybe 2 weeks to do turned into 2.5 months more. But anyways, besides that, I'm also gonna be getting an air oil separator to get all the gunk and stuff, keep it away from the intercooler, which everyone should have anyways. They should install in factory, to be completely honest. I don't know why. A lightweight competition flywheel, ACL race bearings. You guys already saw it. That part's already here. The engine, short ram, cold air intake, Cobb turbo heat shield. That actually had it in the last video. It was in the trunk of the car. I haven't installed it yet. But you guys know what a Cobb heat shield looks like, more likely, if you're a car person and you know Cobb. You guys already saw the Cobb V3 access port. I'm getting a Saban carbon fiber hood. I like the way it's been designed because it will draw out a lot of the hot air and keep a lot more cooler air in the atmosphere of your motor, which is better for performance, better for the health of the motor as well. Um, it's also a lot more aerodynamic. Um, I am getting the Turbo XS top mount intercooler. That is a much larger increase in size than the stock SDI intercooler, and it's better quality, of course. And that will be for the stage 1 build of this car. It's gonna cost me around $3,100 for all the parts, with possible discounts depending on if I order all of it in bulk and I make a few calls. But who knows? That right now, that's what we've got estimated at. And stage 2 of the build is where we're gonna see a lot of stuff done, and it's gonna be a huge horsepower increase. I will be ordering forged eagle rods, mahle. That's how I think it's pronounced, mahle. It's MAHLE. Forged pistons. If I'll be putting these down in the description so you can see it. I'm getting a TGVS delete kit, a Blouch 20G XT Turbo from Rally Sport Direct in Utah. Deatchwerks 1000cc top feed injectors with a top feed conversion kit and fuel rails. This next thing is I really recommend to do when you're, depending on how used your motor is and everything. Mine's fairly new. It was put in last winter, but I don't really trust factory gaskets and everything. But I'm getting a full cometic streetpro gasket kit for the engine. And another thing I'll be doing design wise, it doesn't really have anything to do with horsepower or anything, but the silver that you see on it right now, a lot of that's going to be gone. Well, it's going to be underneath here, but I'll be putting on a 40 white gloss carbon fiber vinyl on the rest of the car, except where the carbon fiber trunk is and the carbon fiber hood. The rest of the silver that you saw, including the skirts, are gonna have that on it. And I saw this on another Subaru and it looked really, really amazing. Yeah, it's not lightweight, it just increases the weight of the car, but it looks severely much better than the silver paint I have on it right now. I mean, it's not bad looking right now, obviously, but I just like white carbon fiber. It looks really good. Alright, well, this is the end of that video. Subscribe, go to my channel, look whatever you want, comment below on any videos you want me to do or questions you have. Once again, I will be putting in the description on all the parts that I will be using. Also, where I will be racing it in about 2.5 months will be at Rocky Mountain Raceway in Utah on April 24th for the first race of the Midnight Drags. Alright, see you later, YouTube.